Well, roger that. We're going to call the March 25th, 2025 Multimedia Committee meeting to order, which means we are going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Get my notes over here. Got a couple things to go over for today. We were going over I did make some changes to the policies document finally. Most of the changes made with AI, but I went through it afterwards just to check over and compared to the original document to make sure everything was okay. Most of it stayed pretty much exactly how it is. A little less wordy, and it's only 6 pages long now, or 5 pages technically if you don't count the title. But I don't know, do you think we should go over the document? There isn't too much in there. It does still say something about doing some kind of production training for anybody over 18 when they want to utilize our services. But I figure the basic idea for training is that if we have any equipment that's available to use, we can work with them to try to figure out how to get it used.
Way back when, they used to, there was a group that would make a video and would put it on Channel 6 once a week. In those days, there were no cell phones, no internet.
No means for anybody else to put their own stuff up.
Right. And so, it would be on Channel 6. Nowadays, if people want to make a video, they make a bad cell phone video and stick it on YouTube.
Yep.
So,
Exactly. I'm not expecting this to be used very much, but
well, on the other hand, having said that, his name Kenny, something that's the director of this play that's coming up,
yes, yep.
he has approached me and he would like to do a series
Okay.
of people being interviewed. Like we started to do with Where We Were, and that came to an abrupt end, but he'd like to do something like that. And I said we'd support him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will, and at some point he can learn to use the equipment.
And I think the biggest problem would just be making sure that we got the correct video file set and ready to record, so we don't have to do any kind of converting or anything afterwards.
Well, the camera has a memory.
Right.
And he is quite familiar. Before, this isn't the first year that group has put on a play in Ware.
Nice.
And the two of us sat there afterwards. I had the big camera in the back. John had one off to the side, and we'd sometimes switch cameras. We did a lot of editing.
Yep.
And this is back when they were doing that before. The only way to edit was to copy from one VHS tape to another. Things have changed a little since then.
I know we got software that's free that can take care of all your video editing needs, pretty
Yeah.
much. As long as you know how to use it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And Kenny I think he's looking forward to editing it again.
Yeah, I imagine. So that's what the play coming up, correct?
Well, the play is coming up, yes.
Yep.
Now that you mention it, Saturday, March 29th is a setup in the town hall. And anybody who wants to work is willing to come.
Okay.
The group actually has some money, and they're buying a new curtain for the stage, which was for the town.
Nice, nice.
And they're buying some lights. Some of them are renting some. They don't have enough to buy all of them, but they're LED lights with different colors. And I'm not sure, I'm not involved with the lights.
Right.
But, so this Saturday, we're going to set everything up.
You said at the town hall?
Yeah, at the town hall.
You don't mean this building, you mean across the street?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. And then that following week, there will be a rehearsal, I think it's the following week, a rehearsal every night. We're not expected to be there,
Right.
although I'll go for some of them just to look at the lighting and, you know.
Make
get a
sure
feel
everything
for it.
looks like it's gonna be
The per-
okay for the day.
performances, I think I emailed you guys, they're on April 11th and
11th.
12th. Well, 11th is the dress rehearsal.
Right. 12th is the
Okay.
actual
But we
thing,
think we're
2
going to
two and
record that too,
Okay,
because like last year, we took scenes from two different performances. If somebody flubbed a line, we took it from the other performance, you know.
that's always nice to have a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
something you can fit in there.
So that's what
Yep, okay, nice.
we're doing, and I'll forward any emails I get to you guys.
The dress rehearsal,
I
that
don't
was
know how
at,
much time you have to help.
On the 12th, I can help maybe on the 2 o'clock one. It's a busy weekend for us. We got
Yeah.
babysitting and birthdays that weekend.
That's how things always work.
Yeah, but maybe I can slip out for the 2 o'clock one. So,
if we need somebody to cover the night shift for the performance on Sunday, I could definitely do that.
Okay. Okay.
April 11th dress rehearsal, April 12th.
They also, if you know anybody, there's they need 2 more cast members for a very, very small part with very, very little lines to memorize. So,
Do they have any age requirements?
and men,
Okay. I can ask around and see if I can get anybody I know. I'm not much of a stage person myself.
yeah. I'm not either. I told them, though, if I could get enough people to operate the cameras, I'd do it, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, for multiple
Well,
cameras
how
kind
many
of thing.
cameras we gonna do this? We're gonna do 2 again?
Yeah. If we had a third person, we might try for 3, but
Hmm.
I forgot, I've got the script. If anybody wants to look it over, I can email it, it's a
How-
PDF.
Yeah, I'll have you
How long
emailed.
a play is this one? do you know?
It's a short play, 1 act,
An hour, or an hour, or?
probably not much over that.
Yeah.
It's very short this year.
Okay.
Some local kids do time travel and,
So basically, last time, like I sat over on the left side, you were kind of in the middle, in the back, right?
right,
Is that kind of what you're thinking now, or?
probably, or you can be one-sided. We'll have to go, that's one reason to go to some of the evening rehearsals, just to
Right.
see what's going
We can
on.
get one of the rehearsals.
That whole week will be rehearsals.
Okay, we could coordinate that, and we can meet there one night. and
Right.
see if we can do it. We don't have to supply any amplifiers or anything, that's all?
We do, except that I'm not operating them.
Gotcha.
They have a
Remember the
sound,
problem we had outside?
Yeah, and
The
I
sound didn't work?
yeah, I told them, said if anybody comes up to twiddle knobs, we politely tell them that knob twiddlers will be shot.
Yeah, but it wasn't even us doing the knob twiddling.
No, it wasn't.
It was their sound guy, right? And for some reason, we
No,
plugged into
no,
them, but we
no.
never got sound.
We got sound during the rehearsal.
But we didn't do any actual performance.
Right, but you had, I knew the guy who was operating it. He'd even taken the equipment home, set it up and practiced, so he was fairly familiar with it. But we had 3 or 4 guys coming over and they knew better than he did and they were twiddling knobs and I tell them, you get your fingers cut off if you twiddle knobs.
And we're gonna plug into them again.
Yeah, but we'll be using our own amplifier. I'm gonna come in maybe tomorrow and just set it up, make sure it works, and I'll plug it into the camera. We've never used it that way before. And
Which camera are we gonna use? We're gonna use the new one?
we'll use the big one.
The new bigger one, and then one of the smaller ones?
Yeah,
That sounds good to me. I did like the bigger camera you got set up there, correct? Not the smaller one.
it's the bigger one.
That's the bigger one? Okay.
It's now on a tripod. I'm gonna show you guys after the meeting.
All right, excited. So yeah, we are supplying stuff to
There's
them?
one other thing I need your approval.
Oh, yes.
If you could listen to the meetings on Channel 6, there's hum.
Yeah.
I know what causes it. It's a little flaw in the design of the equipment. They cheaped out and used single-ended line instead of a balanced line. So the shield is carrying current. You helped me pull the wires up there. There are 2 wires in there. We can use them both if the connectors on the end were correct.
Okay.
But I have to have it's a common problem, it's called a direct injection box that kind of breaks the ground loop. That's the problem. Ground here is not the same as ground upstairs. It'll be, even if it's only a few millivolts different, so you get current through the shield, which is not a good thing. So,
So you need to buy that box?
and back when a couple years ago, when we changed from coax to fiber optic, Comcast came in and they made the change, put the fiber in, and they added this amplifier, which is sort of a no-name thing that they must have found in a junk box. It quit working some time ago.
Yep.
And one of the units they put in has programmable volume. I turned it up all the way. It still wasn't enough. And I think I found an amplifier for like 35, 40 bucks that should do the job. So with these 2 items together, I'm pretty sure we won't go over $100. I'd like the authorization to spend it.
All right.
Make a motion?
Make a motion to approve Doug's less than $100 spending for fixing the hum. I absolutely approve.
You wanna put a dollar amount? $120?
I'd say 120. Yeah.
Doesn't need,
Not to exceed $120.
Not to exceed 120.
not to
I second
exceed
that motion.
$1,200, okay.
Gotcha.
I second that motion.
I
And just
as well.
for your record, I did start making a notebook to stay in that cabinet,
Excellent.
which
Thank
just
you.
has drawings of the system, instruction manuals for all the equipment. Just, if I leave here tonight and get run over by a Sam Adams truck,
I know what you mean. I think Naomi had left some of those manuals on the desk up there not too long ago.
it wasn't Naomi, it was Beth, but yes,
Beth,
I had,
yeah.
they only give it as a PDF. They
Yeah.
don't ship manuals with the equipment anymore. So I asked Beth to print it off for me,
Nice.
and she did, yeah.
Okay, good. But yeah, I like having drawings and everything in there, at least some kind of reference material to be like, oh, Doug wanted it like this. At least I know that should work.
Yeah, definitely, we need that, so.
Yep. All right. Anything else needed for the play, besides, us being there to help
If we
film?
do, I will email you.
Roger that.
So, we're gonna do at least one practice, and then the actual event, right? We're gonna do a rehearsal.
We're gonna.
Yeah, rehearsal was on the
but
11th.
By filming the dress rehearsal, we
That
should
gives
be
us
able to
practice.
put the cameras anywhere we want pretty much, rather than where it'll be blocking.
Well, that will give us an idea too.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the other problem.
But I would-
Once they set the chairs up for the people to sit, I hope they have that for the dress rehearsal, because that could change. If they don't, and you
Yep.
come in for the actual performance, and these chairs are where you didn't
Right.
think they would be, then that changes your whole
Right.
perspective as to where you're gonna be.
Yep, exactly.
But Kenny would like to record both of the actual performances. Again, it's just because
Yeah,
You know,
in case one screws up.
we'll do it, you're on the left side, maybe the next time you're on the right side, and you get a different
I wanna
angle.
commit to one. I'm gonna do the 2 o'clock.
Oh, Okay,
The other one,
that's great.
yeah. All right.
Okay. All right. As far as the rest of the policies document, Like I said, there's not too much that's actually changed. I don't think anything is missing from it.
Okay.
Is there anything you guys want to go over with the document before I send it up to
No.
Naomi?
No, I guess we should
Well,
probably
some of the
read
wording
it.
probably
We
hasn't
can read
changed, right? Where we were referring to tapes and stuff before, probably those are gone now, or?
Not all completely, because I mean, tape we can use as like a generic term for any of the data files or anything like that.
And we should all read it. You have a PDF?
Oh, yeah,
I
I can
figured.
I can email you guys a PDF of it,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that would be good.
I'll go through it, and then just, if you see anything that needs changes, feel free to email me, and then,
I can't tell somebody, yeah, I voted for it, what was in it? I don't know. That's, our congressmen do that all the time, but
What's that?
voting for things when
they
they don't
vote
know
for
what's in it.
something they never read.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully it's not 1,000 pages long.
No, it's brief.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Like I said, it's, we got a cover page and 5 pages after that, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I will email you guys out that to review before our next meeting. But I don't really have too much else going on at the moment.
Okay.
I wasn't noticing any problems. I messed up recently and missed one of the selectmen meetings for recording to put back on the TV. I had put 2 standbys on the same day, and then the 2 records were on a different day instead of
Oh.
one for each. But
Stuff happens.
they definitely caught that meeting on
That
YouTube.
is not the easiest thing to use.
I've been, yeah, surprised at how, not knowing exactly when it's bringing in information. Like, because when you first load it up, it takes whatever file is saved on the actual box itself, and it shows you what's already there. But sometimes I've had it where it'll just crash on me, either in the loading process, the login process, or,
Oh, that software crashes.
yeah. But usually you can just reload it.
Yeah, you're
Everything's
right, it'll
fine,
work the
it'll work.
second time, but, yeah, it's not,
Which software are we talking about?
The WinGLX, which is the
yeah,
scheduling
for the
software.
electronics,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
But yeah, every once in a while it'll
It's-
decide to just stop responding.
It's brain damaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there were some security updates on that Windows 7 computer that I pushed through, because security updates can't hurt at this point.
I didn't think they were doing any updates for Windows 7 anymore.
I don't know if it was like old updates that had never been done on it prior or something to that effect,
I
but
think
yeah,
that would be the case.
most likely. But yeah, I pushed a bunch of those through, so it's on the latest version of Windows 7 now, so it should be okay.
Which is what, 5 years old?
Yeah, probably at least. Ooh,
That's all right, we don't go out on the net with it, so.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything else. You got anything for us, John?
Yeah,
And Doug?
really.
Steve is not here, so I'll email him and let him know if he wants to stay on. He's got to fill out the 2 forms. So, I don't know if he answers his email at all. You get anything
Not
back from
sure,
him,
I
Doug?
haven't seen him online for a long, long time, so
Understood.
occasionally I see him driving around town, but that's,
Yeah. Stop and knock on his door.
All right. Anything else from you, Doug?
Nope.
All right. Well, then I will call this meeting adjourned. Anybody else? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. Thank you very much. This has been the March 25th meeting of the Ware Multimedia Committee. I hope everyone has a great night.